Oh.
And we're live.
Yes.
We don't
late on a Tuesday night.
Right.
Join us, people.
Join us.
We can talk about Bhoot Part 1, The Haunted Ship. Or as you said when you walked in to get your ticket, what movie are we seeing again? Not only were we the only ones in that theater, but we were in the tiniest theater in there as well.
Really were.
We were the only two people in there, and it felt like we made up half of the seats in the theater.
And the funniest part was, like, when we got out of the theater, it really gave me a vibe like we were the only ones, like we were the only patrons in that building.
It's like the employees were like, maybe we can duck out early. Oh, 2 people showed up to go see the 9:10 p.m. screening of Bhoot Part 1, The Haunted Ship. I had an uneasy feeling during this too, but that was only because I'm pretty sure my insides are still eating themselves alive since I shot the KFC donut sandwich video earlier.
You know what's worse?
It was a mistake to have a snack during this movie.
You know what's worse is now you got me curious. I got to go grab one of those and just experience it, I guess.
Oh, yes, you do. You're going to have to get yourself one of those and a whole stack of napkins. It is that messy.
Okay.
You will ejaculate from flavor so many times from eating that. It was one of the weirdest food pains that I had afterwards, because it wasn't so much my stomach that hurt, it was all the organs around it. You can feel the inflammation. If I die, I am gonna haunt not a ship, I'm gonna haunt a KFC. Not the bad KFC, one of the good ones.
Okay, go ahead. I was just going to make the joke, ooh, your crummy sandwich killed me.
Yeah, I'll come out as a nice CGI ghost and just slam people against the wall, or just chokehold them, pull them off into darkness or something like that. This movie actually taught me quite a bit, which is you can travel all the way across the world and still find a lame-ass horror movie. I feel like this is India's answer to hey, maybe we can make a bad January horror movie as well.
It seems easy enough.
I know it hits all of the checklists. Right? It really does, right down to loud ass music stingers throughout this damn thing.
Jump scares.
Oh, all over the place in this movie. As well as the girl from The Ring being the villain, popping up every now and then.
It's like a mix of The Ring and Grudge
and Ghost Ship.
Yeah, obviously.
And Ghost Ship, and also doing like this spooky ghost girl like crab walk against the walls in the background and over the roof, and they got like a contortionist doing it too, so you do have the throughout the whole thing. It is all of that. It is all of that in this movie. Like, if this same movie were made here, it'd be released in January and would star someone from either The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones. One of the two.
Or now Stranger Things.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Exactly. Oh man. I mean, I want to sit here and say, like, one of two things. It's like, I want to be like, I never heard of this movie going into it.
Right.
And hey, this was actually a spooky movie, a nice surprise. Can't say that because it wasn't a very good movie. But I'd also want to say, like, oh man, there was some crazy shit in that movie. You won't believe the insane ass things that happened. I can't say that either. This was lame. This was so lame. I was so tired watching this movie.
Same.
I was, man. Dude, this was
I yawned. I checked my watch a few times.
So did I. I did too. I mean, it was nice of the movie to tell us when it was halfway over with.
Right.
Interval.
It's like,
on the screen. Yeah, I know. I mean, it was worth it for the trailers that we had in front of it.
Yeah.
That new Tiger Shroff movie coming out.
Yeah.
I leaned over, I was like, dude, you should have been at war last year. Holy shit, man, that was a movie and a half. This movie, oh my God. What was this movie called? It was like part 3 of something.
Yeah. I don't know, but the guy's name was Ronnie. People were like yelling his name to call him Ronnie.
Watch this trailer, man. It is insanity. This movie, Bhoot Part 1, because yeah, we're gonna get a franchise out of this. Bhoot Part 1, like, not worth the time of day at all. Totally. But it was worth coming out to this theater at 9-10 at night on a Tuesday to see that trailer
that
in
trailer
front of
was
this.
Amazing.
Standing atop muscle-bound wrecked helicopters in a theater lobby, like kicking these 3 guys in the neck and shit.
Yeah. And then they do the like whole ninja trope where he kicks a bunch of guys and then stands there and then their bones break.
That was how the trailer ended. It shows the title. You think the trailer is over. No. Like, it's delayed reaction to several bones breaking. It's amazing. Oh my God. And it said coming in March. I'm like, that shit better come here. We are seeing that shit. I don't care if I haven't seen the first 2 movies. I'm watching that. If I sat through this haunted ship movie. Look, all you need to know about the haunted ship movie is, there's a ship. It's haunted. Bhoot means ghost. This abandoned and lost cargo ship makes it to shore suddenly after being missing for like 10 years. And the public and the media and everyone is fascinated. Boggy 3. Thank you, chat. Oh my God, I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, but dude, look at that trailer.
Look at that trailer.
My God,
that was the one.
So the media and everyone is like fascinated with this mysterious ship, but they put no guards around it or anything. So, you know, a couple of frolicking teenagers can just sneak onto it in the middle of the night and get killed. And then it has to do, the main character is this dude who what was even his job? To go in with a flashlight and like look at abandoned location. I don't know. When the movie started out, I guess he was an
investigator of something.
Yeah, okay, yeah, he works in like the cargo shipping unit or whatever. Because like the tone's a little weird in parts. Because it starts out in 2001 where the ghost on the ship starts messing around with this girl, this kid, and then she screams, pulls her off away, and then it jumps ahead a bunch of years in which we see this love story, this opening credit sequence, which is this love story between our main character, his wife. They have a kid. So you have this like long montage of a love story sandwiched between this screaming girl getting taken away by a ghost and our lead character finding a container full of human trafficking. And fights a bunch of like sex traffickers or something like that. I don't know, but I'm like, tone, weird, okay. All right, I'm kind of used to that in these movies, so, you know, I'll give that one a pass. I loved War last year, and War had a musical number after our main character saves a woman from a stoning by ISIS. So it's like, you know, throw tone out the window when you go into a movie like this.
By the way, let's real quickly, speaking of ISIS, apparently the guy in Boggy 3 or whatever fights ISIS.
Oh, I bet he does.
Yeah,
they did War as well. No, but like what threw me off in this more than anything was how all of this is love story and everything is happening. The opening credits are happening. And then the movie goes on for about 15 or 20 minutes and then cuts to black and says who the writer and director is.
Right.
As if you did the opening. It's not like the opening credits stretch out over that long period of time.
Yeah.
No, it's like you had the opening credits and then the movie starts happening for an act.
And then all of a sudden it's like, right. By the way, written and directed by this person.
You thought the movie was over. I could only wish it would have been that short. We're going to see a 20-minute movie. So A lot of it is just the dude bumming around this ghost ship with a flashlight, looking at the dirty walls and shit, the dirty rooms. A creepy doll pops up. The girl's spooky face pops up in the background a lot and lunges at the camera. I mean, I would like to say that there's really unintentionally funny stuff that happens in the movie. There's really not. It's just lame. It's boring. The main character sucks. The jump scares are old and trite. There's a couple of parts where you might jump just because that doesn't mean it's scary. That means it's startling.
Right, yeah,
like,
exactly.
Okay, if a guy's looking at himself in the mirror, and then
all of a sudden you just get this,
Yeah, you might jump. Like you're watching an internet video where the spooky ghost face is going to happen. Right. It doesn't mean it's scary. It just means this loud thing happened in front of your face. But it was the closest I could come to it being like, well, that was kind of weird. I wish the movie was more like this. Was when the ghost at the end is standing there, and the main character throws an axe at it, and because it's a ghost, it goes right through him. So the axe just goes right through him, but then hits this like tank in the background or something that makes the room catch on fire, and the ghost skeleton that's hanging there catches fire. Which I guess that's what kills our ghost. Right. Yeah. If you mess with its bones, that's what kills it.
You've just freed his soul by burning his body.
Yeah, well, he's got our hero pinned against the wall, and he's ashed away like Thanos killed him.
Dude, spoilers.
Yeah. It didn't even make any sense. Like, why was this character even a villain at this point? Like, because we've seen this character's backstory minutes before this happened, in which he's not a villain, so I don't know why at this point he's kind of doing villainous things, like murdering random people in here, and just I don't know. It's one of those movies where all the ghosts do is just pull people off camera, or jump out at them and scream in their face.
Honestly, this movie was a mess, but I could see the ambition. You know what I mean? Like, I could see that it like might have had it could have had possibilities if it was just, I don't know, if it was just better paced, better, formulated a different way, edited better,
I mean, it's shot. Sorry,
it was filmed.
It's
Bhoot
not.
Part 1 was filmed.
It's not that it's. Yeah, it's not that it's a poorly made movie, but there was nothing that really stood out to me in terms of the filmmaking in it. But it's better made than like. What's something? I mean, there's more ambition put into this movie than there was in that sequel to The Boy that we just watched.
God, yes.
I'll say that in the movie. This feels like something that like someone from another country makes if they think that an American horror classic is like The Bye-Bye Man or The Grudge 2, the direct-to-video sequel to the American remake. Like,
oh my god.
I mean,
you're not wrong.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
It's a lot of stuff that I've seen in many movies. It's between like the crab walk shit in the background, the contortionist ghost, the ghost screaming at people, pulling people off in the darkness. I've seen that shit in about 5 great horror movies and 100 terrible ones. But
hell, there's even, remember the girl that's like playing with her boyfriend on the ship, which by the way, this couple, like after the ship runs ashore, this couple just decides, hey, let's go play on this abandoned ghost ship.
Yeah, as you do.
Because reasons.
Yeah.
So they climb up onto the ship, and by the way, this thing is like fucking 5 stories tall, and this couple like climbs up a rope ladder to get on this fucking ship. Then they start gallivanting around and shit like that. The girl finds this locker, hides in it, right? Then gets on her phone, calls her boyfriend, and just goes, It's like, good God.
I know. There were sequences like that. Like, it's sort of like what you were talking about where, like, it's not that it's badly made, really. It's overlit in a lot of scenes. And there were also sequences that were in the ship that felt like someone turned on freaking motion smoothing as the camera was going on. There were things like that were annoying. But if you would take certain sequences in this movie, like that, the one with the girl in the locker, or the the main character going into the room on the ship, and it's a very nice room where everything else looks terrible. And even some other sequences in the movie too. If you did something really little, switching out the music, like making a better soundtrack, toning it the hell down on the loud ass music stings. If you did little things like that, just with the soundtrack alone, it wouldn't make this movie great, but it would elevate parts of it.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I agree with that. And like I was saying earlier, I think if it was just edited in a more cognitive way, to where the continuity was just like, continuity, by the way, the flashback, the white water rafting flashback, where everybody had helmets on until the raft fell over, then everybody's helmet was gone.
Their helmets fell off. Their helmets, that was happening, I know, it took me, when it was, the way the movie was kind of told, it took me a little bit to realize our main character's wife was dead, and it took me even longer to figure out his daughter is too. Because he does the telephone thing with his daughter, and I'm like, oh, well, there's his daughter. It must just be the mom who died. And then later, the daughter's like, I'm haunting you, Daddy. I'm like, okay, I guess she is too. I don't care. You know what? I'm honestly, I'm sure it explains it just fine. I just didn't care.
Right.
So there's a lot of details that were maybe going in one ear and not the other.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. It's just that it was just too much. You were like trying to follow one story, and then all of a sudden you're like following this other story, and there's two stories getting twisted and tangled and everything, and you're just kind of like, okay. Like there was a moment early on, right after the whole the first initial ship scene, where I was like, so wait a minute, was that his daughter that was taken by the ghost, or
that I follow just because I just remembered the dates on the screen.
Oh, okay.
But again, I was like, maybe I missed an 8 years earlier title card. That's in every movie we go see now. I mean, you want to talk about like ambition that this movie has, because I guess they're trying to franchise this. That's why it's called Part 1, I think. Like, I didn't know if it was because it's shorter than a typical Indian film. It's a little less than 2 hours, and those usually run like well over 2 hours.
Wow.
So at first I was wondering, like, is this like a 4-hour movie and they chopped it in 2 or something, and this is Part 1 and the next will be Part 2? I don't know. I hope to God that's not it. But it seems like what I saw is like they're trying to make a franchise out of this.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm just speculating here, but like maybe a anthology series, or I don't know. It does what
was even that? What was that?
It's like everything else in this movie where you realize that I've seen this like 200 times.
Right. So
like,
it just runs past the camera.
It's a mid-credit sequence where it's the living room and then just something going. Really? I guess you forgot that one on your checklist.
Right.
Had to throw that in the middle of the credits. Sure. This movie's lame, dude. It's so lame. I don't recommend watching this. Like, it's not as long as a movie like this usually is, or from this country.
Sure.
but it's still too long because it's like an hour and 57 minutes and it should be like 80 some minutes.
Dude, aren't Bollywood movies supposed to have like dance numbers and stuff
it's
like
missing that shit in the
I
movie
know,
too.
right?
Yeah.
Man. Come on, Bollywood.
Bollywood Friday the 13th had a musical number, had many musical numbers in it. They were sampling Billy Ocean in that movie.
Dude, Baki 3 seemed like it had some
It's going to.
Yeah,
I guarantee you it's going to. I can't wait. Oh. It has a PSA in the middle of it like War did. Remember to be a good parent and take your kid to soccer. All right, look, before this goes away, let me click and see what the
Super
chat is here. Let's see. This is from TJ O'Donnell. Thank you very much for the super chat. Hey, Brad, this is for you. Also, would you consider either yourself or Doug to do a review of the Charlie Sheen 9/11 movie? It's terrible. Oh, yeah, I know what movie that is. That's the movie with Charlie Sheen where he's stuck in the elevator and in one of the towers. Check out the trailer for it. I've seen the trailer. I haven't seen the movie. It looks really, really bad. Yeah, I probably should do a review of that sometime.
Jeez.
The Snob reviews 9/11. So I know that there was another super chat in there as well, but
can you get it by tapping on that?
No,
you can't. Okay,
no, only when the colored part of it pops up.
I see.
But whatever we miss, we make it up for in the next one, so we'll be able to get it. We'll be able to get it to you in the next one. Any final thoughts about this movie? Is there anything we missed? I can't believe we went 20 minutes talking about it.
Yeah.
Although most of it was we were talking about that trailer.
Baki.
Yeah.
Just no. Yeah, no. I was kind of disappointed because I was hoping that we'd get this like
crazy ass movie.
Yeah, crazy ass Bollywood movie, and no, we just got this like lame ass just horror movie.
I know. This thing should be dumped on video. It'll put this shit in theaters. Are you kidding me? All right. Well, we got C2E2 coming up this weekend. So come see us out at C2E2 while we're table there all weekend. Plus, we got panels going on as well. And The Invisible Man. We're seeing The Invisible Man Thursday night. I think that's the only thing I'm going to be able to get around to see on Thursday night. So if anything else comes out this weekend, I'll have to make it up during the next week after C2E2 because we're going to be busy with that. But
McCormick Center in Chicago.
Dude, don't give our address.
Oh, is that where you live?
I do live. It feels like I live at conventions now. All right, everyone. Thanks for staying up late with us and watching this. Hey, we're ending right at midnight. So, all right. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Woo!